66 reshape the matrix. The given problem is that we are given a matrix of shape n times m times n, and we are given two integers r and c representing the number of rows and number of columns that we want our matrix to be reshaped into. So from this example we have a matrix 2 by 2, and we need to reshape into a matrix of row 1 and column 4, so 1 by 4 matrix. And similarly, if the value of row and the value of column, that if it's not possible to create a new matrix from the older one, then we just return the older matrix. So let's get started for this one. So we have 1 2 for this example 3 and 4, and we need something like 1 2 3 and 4, 2 by 2 to 1 by 4. So what are we actually gonna need is, first of all, we need to check if we could create a new matrix or not. For that, the size of both the matrix would be equal, so we'll just check the size. Let m equals to matrix dot length, n equals matrix 0 dot length, and now we are going to check the size. If m times n is not equals to r times c, we just return r and return the matrix. And if again r is equal to m and c is equals to n, then we again return the same matrix. So we just use a for condition here and paste it there. If not, we need to create a new matrix for that one. So for creating new matrix, we actually will have to loop through each of the elements of the matrix and create a new one. So let's create a for loop. I plus plus for let j equals to 0, j is less than n, j plus plus. And we also need to define a new matrix for our result of length r, and then I is less than r plus plus. For each row we are gonna create a number of columns here. So yep, this is what we have. Now we need to fill in the result, the value of matrix I and j. Now how are we gonna actually fill this result? So let us have these represented as L and K. So just define the variable L equals to 0, K equals to 0. So how are we actually going to change these two numbers? So whenever in a matrix, whenever all the columns in a row are filled, only then we increase the row, right? So what we will do is, we are K starts from 0, L starts from 0. The base conditions are 0 for both. Now every time we fill it, we increment K, and we also take a modulus by C so that K doesn't increase, is less than or equals to C. And now we check if K equals to 0, which means that we have filled all of them and we are starting from new column, which means that we need to go to the new row. So we will then increase our row value. So finally we are going to return our result. Let's run the code. Okay, there's some problem here. Oh, it's just met. Okay, so what's the problem here? I is 0 to I less than R. Yeah, so we're setting C. Oh, okay, so the problem is we need to increment it here because pre-increment. Cool, let's try to submit this one. Yeah, so it works. Okay, so we can make one change here, one optimization by actually using only one loop. So let's try to do that. I just make changes to this program. So we're just gonna range from I equals to 0 to R m times n, which is the size of the matrix, and now we need to have these values such that, so for the result, the row, we know I modulo C, we need to do I modulo C. So every time I increases and of row is full, we need to do I modulo. So similarly I modulo the column which is n here. And in this case, since we are doing I equals to I m times n, for the row we need, for to get the row we just need to have I divided by n, I by n. So that will actually break whenever we have reached the length of the row. And similarly for this one, I divide by C. So yep, this will work now. This should work. Okay, so there is some error here, and what's that? Candidate property. Oh, undefined model n. Okay, so what's wrong here? I modulo n starts from 0. I divide by n. So let's take this example. So here, and m is 2 and is also equals to 2, right? So initially I is equals to 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So we get the first row first, and again 0 divided by 2 modulo 2 is also 0. So 0 row, 0 column, and again we increment I, which becomes equals to 1. 1 divided by 2 is again 0, and 1 modulo 2 is equals to 1. So 0th row and second column. Perfect. Now when I becomes equals to 2, what we do is 2 divided by 2, which equals to 1. So we move to second row, and again 2 modulo 2, which is equals to 0. So we move to second row first column, and again I becomes equals to 3. 3 divided by 2 equals 1, and 3 modulo 2 is equals to 1 again. So 1 1, which is the second row, second column. So what is going wrong here? I just cannot understand this thing. Can read properties of undefined ring 1. Okay, let me see here. What's wrong? I don't see anything mistake here. Let me look to some of the examples here. Okay. Oh, okay, parse int. Yeah. Not here, but actually here, because JavaScript is not type specific. Okay, now let's submit our result. Yep. Okay,